Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please ensure to like, share, and subscribe. And also click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner to be made aware anytime I upload tutorials or videos to YouTube. All right, let's craft together.
If you want to learn how to sand paint, then stay tuned. I'm going to walk you step by step how I created this sand painting with this paint, which is sand, and these tools using my Cricut Maker. All right, let's get started.
All right, guys, so here we are inside of Cricut Design Space, and I just have a blank canvas open right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is on the left-hand side, I'm going to click on Images, and then I'm going to type in the search field, I want African American women. And we're just going to scroll through here and see what we see. I'm going to try to find the same one. Let's try woman. All right, so we're going to use this little lady right here, and I searched using African American woman. All right, so we're going to go ahead and click on her, and I'm going to make her a little bit larger. I'm going to be using, I think it's A4 double-sided sticker sheets. So I'm going to go to More. I'm going to unlock my proportions here, and in the width, I'm going to type in 7.625. And for the height, I'm going to go 9.97. And then we're going to lock that back. So this is our image here that we're going to be working with. And it is on a basic cut, and you do not want to change that. You're going to leave it on a basic cut. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to select Make. Now you can save this if you like. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save. And I'm going to do African American woman. And remember, that's what you're going to use to search for your image. And then I'm going to put this in my sand painting and save it. All right, your design is going to come up, and we're going to go over to the material size on the left hand side here, and we're going to scroll up and we're going to select A4 because that's the size of the double-sided sticker sheets that I'm using, and I will link them in the description of this video tutorial so that you can find them easily on Amazon. All right, so now we have our image, and let's go. Just kind of trying to center it just a little bit better. All right, that's good. All right, and so now that we have our image that we're going to use, we're now going to go ahead. You're not going to mirror it, and we're going to click on Continue. And I'm using my Cricut Maker. And now we're going to select our material. Now, I'm going to click on Browse All Materials, and in the search field, I'm going to type in washi and search. And we're going to select washi sheet. and done. All right. So at this point, we've done everything we need to do inside of Cricut Design Space. We're going to leave this on the default pressure, which is more than enough. There's no tool in clamp A. We have our fine point blade in clamp B. And then once we get our mat, and I do highly recommend that you use a very sticky mat that has a lot of grip to it, because otherwise, when it's cutting, if your mat is not sticky, it will not cut properly. Okay, so you just want to make sure that you use a really sticky mat. And I even am I'm going to be using some painter's tape at the top and bottom of my design so that I can ensure that it stays in place while it cuts. Okay, so now we've done everything in Cricut Design Space. We're now going to move over to my Cricut Maker.
All right, guys, so this is the double-sided sticker sheets that I'm using here, and I got these off of Amazon. They come in 15 sheets, and again, I will link them in the description of this video tutorial so you can find the exact same ones that I am using. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our strong grip mat. We're going to take our strong grip mat, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to lay down our double-sided sticker sheet. And you want to make sure you line it up properly so that it cuts properly. I think I got some. I'm going to go this way since I already have the painter's tape on here. So I'm just going to pull this painter's tape up. And I'm going to reuse that, so give me just a second. All right, so we're going to go ahead and lay our double-sided sticker sheet down. And we're going to just double secure it with the painter's tape. I'm going to try to reuse that piece that I just took off. I might not be so lucky, but let's see. We'll get as much on there as we can. So we're going to go ahead and lay down. This is just to double secure that your double-sided sticker sheet doesn't move. I like to put a little paper on there. Not paper, but double-sided tape, just to ensure that it stays in place. So I'm going to put a piece here on that corner, and then we're going to put another piece here. All right, so we just want to make sure that our double-sided sticker sheet does not move. And again, I'm using the strong grip mat. You just want to make sure your mat is sticky, because Cricut, when it's cutting, that it is powerful. All right, let's now go to my Cricut Maker, and we're going to have Cricut to cut the design out onto our double-sided sticker sheet, and we're using washi sheet for the material setting that I showed you in Cricut Design Space. All right, so now let's go and cut this out. All right, guys, so now we're at the Cricut Maker, and we're going to go ahead and load our mat. And now we're going to go ahead and start the cut. All right, so I'm going to let that cut, and then I'm going to come back once once it is done, it will not take very long, but you want to just let it go. All right, it is done. So we're now going to go ahead and unload. And you probably can't see that very well, but it has cut out our image for us. And we use the washi sheet setting, guys, because we don't want it to cut through all the way through. We only want it to cut through this yellow layer. All right, so let's now go and let's sand paint. All right, guys, so once you take your image, remove the mat from your cutting machine, you want to make sure that you go ahead and take your image off of this mat, because you do not want to attempt to sand paint with this on your mat, because that sand is going to stick to your mat, causing your mat to no longer have a grip to it. So you want to make sure you remove the image from the mat before you start to sand paint. I know it's tempting to go ahead and start sand painting right now, but you do not want to do that, okay? And be careful when you're taking your double-sided, not your double-sided, but your painter's tape off. You know, you can put that back on your mat so you can reuse it for another sand painting. No reason that you have to throw that painter's tape away, so I just put it on my mat till the next time. All right, so now we have our image, and hopefully you guys can see that it cut. All right, and so what we're going to do at this point is we're going to start removing the part that we want to have that black outline. All right, So we want that black outline. So we're going to start removing the bits that are going to be painted in black. All right. So we're going to get our black paint right there. I'm going to be using my Cricut weeding tool to weed away the areas that I want to stay in black. Now there's a few areas that did not cut the way I want them to. So I just take a little X-Acto knife because I want to make sure the lips are enclosed. I don't want the lips to end up being, brown or a different color. So I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife here to just kind of cut a little area to make sure that my lips are outlined properly. And if you use this design in Cricut Design Space, I would highly recommend you do the same thing. So I'm just giving myself a little area where I can get more black there. And then we're going to take our Cricut weeding tool or whatever tool you want to use. And you're only pulling up, guys, just that yellow layer. And be careful that you don't pull up your sticky part. All right. You do not want to pull up the sticky part. Now my lips came up and I'm just going to put them right back down. So give me 1 second here. And I'm going to put my top lip back down. And it's real easy for it to come up because when you're working with little small parts, guys, that part is bound to happen. All right. It is bound to happen. So we're just removing that top yellow piece. And underneath that yellow piece is your sticky part. Trying to get that little extra little part that I cut to make sure my lips are fully enclosed. All right, so now I have my lips outlined, and that's all we're gonna be doing is we're just taking away the outline, guys, which is the black part. Just the outline of your image, just the black part. All right, now since I don't have a lot of space on my phone to make this video super long, I'm going to get the first little part started here, and then I'm going to come back when I got all of my part that should be black taken off. Might not take me long to do it here. Let me see if I can. I just don't want to run out of space on the phone. And then I can't show you everything. So I'm just going through, removing the part, the outline of the image that I want to be black. And for the bits that you want other colors, you want to make sure that those stay down. And I'm going to show you here in just a second. Once I can pull this up. Don't want to pull up any part of her ear. And I just use my weeding tool to kind of help me hold the part I'm not trying to pull up. I just use it to help guide me and keep my other sticky parts down that I'm not trying to remove just yet. All right. That part was easy. So I'm holding down, I'm using my weeding tool to hold down the parts that I'm not trying to pull up right now. And sometimes you can cut as you go so that you don't mess up. Just take your sweet little time. I'm not good with the tweezers, but I highly recommend you use tweezers because my nails are long, so me and tweezers don't get along so well. But don't tell anybody I told you that, okay? All right, so we got that part done. All I'm doing, guys, is taking up the outline. The part that I want to be in black, I am pulling all of that up, and I'm going to show you here in just a second. And like I said, keep some scissors handy because you can trim it as you go, so you don't have that long piece just going around with you. So I'm going to take out the the brows. And I think I'll do a little part of the eyes with you. And then I'm going to stop my camera, pause my camera, and then I'll come back. All right, so I want you to see what I'm doing. I'm just removing the part that I want to be the black, outlined in black, okay? So I'm gonna do the rest, and then I'm gonna come back so that I can save space on my camera. All right, guys, so now I have removed, as you can see, all the areas that I want outlined in black. All right, so this is the fun part. This is where we're gonna start actually painting. So this is the part where I'm trying to move my camera down so you guys will be able to see where it gets really, really fun. All right. Okie dokie. I'm going to move everything out of the way. Let me get a sheet of paper. Hold on. All right, guys. So try to give you guys a little bit of a better angle here where you can see everything. So we're going to start with our black. And I put a piece of paper down here because the last thing you want to do is have sand everywhere. So we're just going to take and pour our sand on. Now you can pick this up and then let the sand drop down, or you can take a brush and just go down your image like that. Whatever works for you. Now I like to keep my sand open there. And I'm going to take as much of this as I can. I'm going to pick it up. And we're going to drop that sand right back into the container. And you can see how our image is now outlined in the black. All right. And you can take your brush and fine tune it by getting some of that excess paint off. And I keep saying paint, but we are using sand to paint, so technically it is paint, but it's sand. All right, so we're going to get that excess off like that. And I want to get that sand back into its container. So we're just going to pick that up and slide it right back in. I highly recommend that you use something on the bottom because otherwise you're going to have sand everywhere, guys, and you don't want that. All right, so there's our image now, and we're going to now just start painting using our other colors, and feel free to paint it however you so choose. You do not have to do what I'm doing. Do what works best for you. Clean those eyes up a little bit. And just for the record, I missed a little area right here. Just for the record, guys, I did kind of go around the eyes, the bottom of the eyes with the X-Acto knife so that I could ensure that those eyes are, you know, outlined properly, because it doesn't cut exactly the way we want it to under the eyes. So I wanted to get a little bit of that black on that bottom, the bottom of the eyes. So I'm going to try to go back over this part right here, a little bit of black, because I missed a little spot. I don't know why I always want to take and put the sand back, the top back on, when I know that I need it. I need it. All right. And make sure, guys, that your yellow is laying down flat, because if it's not, sand is going to get underneath it and it's going to paint areas that you don't want it to paint. Like right here, I think that got some black in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do my brown now, because that kind of came up. So since that came up, I'm going to go ahead and do the brown now. Now the brown, I took some white sand and I added, let's see, I want this part right here to be white. I want to see if I can kind of clean it up a little bit, because some black got underneath there. If your yellow is not laying down flat, when you put your sand on it, it's going to color it. So you want to try to make sure, I didn't do that part really good, but it'll be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and do this little part that's supposed to be white. I'm going to go ahead and do those, because if I don't, it's going to end up messing up. So I'm going to go ahead and do the white now. I said brown, but I'm going to do the white, and then I'll come back and make that part brown. All right, so we're going to take our white now, wherever I put it. We're now going to take our white, and this time I'm just going to pour on and then pour off. I'm not going to use the brush. Make sure I'm in frame so you guys can see. Okay, then I'm going to go in with now doing my brown. So I'm going to start pulling up the areas that I want to be brown or skin tone. And to make the brown, I use white glitter, and then I added some alcohol, some brown alcohol ink to the white glitter, and I mixed it together, and that's how I got the brown. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do her. Here's another little part right there that should have been black. On her ear. Let's see if we can get that in there. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and do the brown for the eyes. And this is the one that I made, the color brown that I made myself. So we're going to go ahead and add the brown to the eyes. All right. So now we have our eyes, and I'm going to fine tune these eyes, guys, because they look a little wonky. So we're going to go ahead and finish pulling up the area that we want brown, which is her entire face minus her lips. And because you've already did the black outline, you don't have to worry about little small pieces pulling up, because you've already taken care of those. by doing the black first. Right, so we're now going to go in and finish up with her face. All right, so we're just going to pour that brown on. And I had a piece of paper on there. And we're just going to pour the brown back in. All right. Here's a piece of the yellow right there. I don't want to put that all into my brown. All right, so now we have the face part done. And now we're going to do her earrings. So to do the earrings, we're just removing, again, the yellow part. We already have the outline. And let's do the earrings and the lips the same color. All right, so remove the yellow from the lips and the earrings. And let's go with blue this time. No, can't make let's go with red. Okay. Y'all see how I keep trying to put that top back on. I keep forgetting that I gotta put this back on. All right, so we got her lips now and her earrings. And let's see what else we want to be red, because we got to coordinate. All right, so let's make the bulk of this part red. So we're going to start taking off this. Now, anywhere you want to use the X-Acto knife to get more colors, please feel free to do so. You can trim this up however you so like. All right, guys, my camera shut off due to memory, but we're gonna go ahead and pour the red right quick on. And like I said, you can pick it up to paint it, so you can do it just like that. Pick that up and put that red right back into its container. I'm just going to use my brush to kind of help me out here. All right, and then we only have, I'm just going to do this part here. And we will make this part purple. Let's go with like a purple color. All right, so that is our finished product. You guys can make it whatever colors you choose. You can finish taking up the yellow, but I wanted to get the basics down with you. And I'll kind of play around with the eyes because the eyes look kind of wonky to me. But you can use a little bit of Elmer's glue and put it on there, and then put your color on there in the areas to kind of fine tune it. And I will post the finished product once I go in with the glue on her eyes to kind of make those look better. But that is your sand painting, guys. So it's very easy to do. You just have to take your time. All right. And it looks like her red. I'm going to have to brush her off a little bit because that red is kind of in areas that I don't want it. So you just use your brush, kind of brush it up a little bit. There we go. Better. All right, guys, but that is it. That is your sand painting. This is the double-sided sticker sheet from Amazon. Again, I'm going to link them in the description of this video tutorial. The sands, I will also link where I got them on Amazon. The brown I made myself. The skin tone I made myself by using white with a little bit of brown alcohol ink. I just mixed it in like a Ziploc bag, and you don't have to let it dry or anything like that. You just add a couple of drops in there, and that's how I got the brown skin tone. And yeah, we used my Cricut Maker to cut out that outline for us, and I think she's really pretty. You guys chime in the comments, tell me what you think. And like I said, I'll post the final image when I clean up those eyes just a little bit. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to leave this on for now until I get a canvas, and then you can peel the back off. Don't worry about that because that's going to come off, but you can peel the back off because it's double-sided sticker sheet, and you can peel the back off, and then you can stick this onto a canvas and put it onto your wall. Okay, so this yellow part, I'm going to take that off and make that a background color. Okay, not sure what color, maybe blue. Maybe I'll put blue as the background. That may make that red really pop. All right, guys, that's it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. If you guys have any questions or comments for me, then please post those and I will answer you as best I can. Remember, I'm still new to this, but I wanted to share with you because I've gotten a lot of questions about how to use sand paint. All right, guys, that's it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. You guys know my motto is each one reach one so that each one can teach one. And you guys have an amazing day. Bye now.